Hi, it's Paul Andersen, and this is Disciplinary Core Idea ESS2E. It's on biogeology, and that's really how the life on our planet interact with the planet itself. And so again, in summary, there are four spheres on our planet. We have the geosphere, which is going to be the planet itself. We have the hydrosphere, which is going to be the water, and the atmosphere, which are the gases on its surface. And so in this diagram, where these three things come together, like right here, we're going to have the biosphere. That's going to be where the life is on our planet. It's where these three spheres come together and allow life to exist. And so you can see how these three things could affect life, but could life ever affect the other three? For sure. And that interaction between the two, especially the earth and life, is going to be biogeology. So what's an example of that? Cyanobacteria are bacteria. They've been around for billions of years. And when they started doing photosynthesis on our planet, they started producing oxygen. And that oxygen on our planet started making rock that was red. It was rusting. And so we saw these banded rock found within the planet. And so the life was actually shaping the rock itself, or changing the rock itself. The carbon cycle is a great example to see how life is interacting with the planet itself. And so as we go through photosynthesis, we're taking carbon from the atmosphere and actually making sugar out of it. And as we do respiration, we're returning some of that into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. As we start to burn fossil fuels, we're taking carbon that was locked away in the earth and we're releasing it into the atmosphere. And that's going to change the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, and even the earth itself. And bacteria are incredibly important in this as well, and they're important in the nitrogen cycle. And so really the message I'm trying to get is that we have landforms on our planet, the geosphere, and we have lifeforms on our planet. And so as the landforms change, as we change our planet, the life has to respond to that. And so what the life does is evolve. And the land will change again, and the life will change again. And so they're linked together. And so how do you teach this progression? Well, in the lower elementary grades, we want to talk about life. Plants and animals, and we are animals for sure. And what do we need? Well, we need land to live on, we need air to breathe, and then we need water. And so as we take all of these things in, we also change them as well. So we're changing our environment, and we're doing that by plowing the fields, as we chop down trees, as we use the water, and as we put into the atmosphere, we're changing our environment. And so as we move into the upper elementary grades, we want to explain to our students that living things affect the environment. And so here's a great couple of examples. And so as plants start to live, they put roots into the soil, and that's going to hold the soil in place. It's going to hold water in the soil as well. And so by adding life, we're actually stabilizing that soil. Beavers, for example, can build dams, and they're going to change the flow of the water, or that hydrosphere on the geosphere. And as we build dams, we're going to do the same thing. As you move into middle school, you want to talk about landforms changing. And sometimes that's gradual, and sometimes it's dramatic. So a meteor impact like this could be dramatic change to the landforms. We could have volcanism, so volcanoes can change the landforms as well. And once we have that change, then the life forms have to evolve. And so what's an example of that? Well, dinosaurs are a great example of that. They lived on our planet for millions and millions of years, and they went extinct relatively shortly. Why was that? We had changes to the landforms. We had a meteor impact, an asteroid impact, and that changed the climate, and they couldn't adapt. But certain organisms could, and a group called the mammals did really well and started to fill some of the niches that were at once times filled by the dinosaurs. And also, as we talk about middle school, students should understand that the life can actually change the earth. And so this idea of cyanobacteria changing the earth, adding oxygen to the atmosphere and adding oxidation to the rocks is important. And I read that bacteria can even help in the formation of pyrite or fool's gold. I think that's really, really cool. And then as we get into high school, we want them to understand this whole idea of coevolution, that the landforms on our planet will constantly be changing. As they do, life forms have to evolve in response to that. But it's a never-ending story, and I hope that was helpful.